Okay, so I've had time to use the Gachiakuta characters. Very good collab character bunch. I think they messed up with a couple of things, but overall, I actually think that this batch of characters weren't too bad. They weren't supremely OP, and they weren't like very underwhelming. They fit perfectly into the meta, I feel like. So they did a good job. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna rank where I think each character is as far as you know, importance and pooling. I definitely do think that number 4 and 3, maybe even 2, could be a toss up. I do think that. So when we go into this, just keep an open mind, hear me out. I think you might find that I have some pretty valid points. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's just look at the first character here. I'm actually gonna put, for number 4, I'm gonna put Zanka. I had to think about this quick, but I think Zanka actually isn't terrible. I don't think he's a bad character. Unfortunately, I think that what they did with him, as far as duplicates go, they didn't really think that one through. So if he wasn't a support character, because he is the free unit we get, if he was not a support character, I actually feel like Zanka would be higher if they made him like a DPS or something like that. However, since he is a support character and his passive, it unfortunately does change depending on how many dupes you have. So if you only have him 1 out of 6, he's legitimately only giving you 4% basic stats increase and 5% attack increase, and then he removes the 2 orbs if you have his holy relic, which you should, which is good. I just don't think that they should have gated his full support to 3 out of 6, because once he do you get it at 2 out of 6? I forget. Okay, so no. So at 2 out of 6, you get this attack disable whenever an enemy enters the battle. That matters. That shit matters, man. Because if you're facing off against a Merlin and Escanor, this literally can decide the fate of the battle. If you kill an enemy and an Escanor or Merlin comes from the sub slot, this right here legit can turn the tides of battle. It's crazy. It's actually insane. And then 3 out of 6, he gets this quarantine debuff he puts on. I think he puts on all the enemies. It's crazy. It's actually insane how much better Zanka gets when he's 3 out of 6. Now again, if he was just a straight up DPS, I actually think he wouldn't be too bad. He would actually be pretty decent, like pretty solid actually, if this wasn't like support, and if he was just giving himself buffs, if he was just, you know, increasing his attack by an ungodly amount. Like if he wasn't a support, he would be crazy. Like he actually probably would be higher, but they locked his I don't understand why they did that. Like, okay, they could have kept this, I guess, at 3 out of 6, but this quarantine buff, no, I don't know, man. It's crazy. It's crazy. Again, you only have, like, a majority of the players are only gonna have him at 1 out of 6. If you get dupes, great, but a majority of the players are legit only having his character at 1 out of 6. But I'm actually gonna go ahead and put Zanka at 4. Unfortunately, I'm not even saying he's not a bad character. He actually isn't terrible. He's not a damage dealer. I think I've seen him once maybe do some pretty good damage. But again, the way he works, because again, you have to kind of, unfortunately, you kind of have to have your allies die for him to really do some damage. So he has to be the last. When he's like the last person on the field, he can do damage. Like, don't get me wrong, he can do some damage, but well, poor Zanka, right? Just poor Zanka. But all right, let's switch gears and let's go ahead and let's put at number 3, I'm actually probably gonna pick Rio. It's a toss-up between, now I think you could actually interchange all of these characters. I really do. I don't think Enjin goes below 2, but I think you could interchange all these characters. So Rio, I have her at number 3. I think Rio is a really good character. I do. I really do. However, I will say that she tends to get destroyed I feel like all of them don't have that great defensive stat. I don't know. Seems like they just get torn in half. Now with her specifically, you do have to do single target attacks or take damage from an enemy skill to gain the Ripper. When she gets all her stacks of the Ripper, her damage can be pretty good, like pretty good. It's variable, right? It definitely is variable because of the pierce rate. And then if you aren't able to crit, she could look pretty bad. When she crits with this skill, her AoE is good. It can do damage at certain points. I think you do have to have her Holy Relic. Like, you have to have her Holy Relic for like really good damage, because the Ripper increases her pierce rate, but then she also gets an extra 30% from this right here. But then remember this, she's also getting the pierce rate from the, like I said, the pierce rate from the Ripper, which goes to under 50%. But then she's also increasing her basic stats. So she's good. Like, she's good. And then she's removing one orb from the ultimate move gauge of an enemy, whoever she, you know, cancels the stance on, which is going to be obviously Meliodas, right? So she's definitely good. I just feel like, and this is just me personally, that the only thing you're really going to use her for is this. You could make a case though that she actually, well, I don't know. It's hard. I don't know. It's hard, man. It's hard because the HP related stat buff is good. Ah, man, I feel like if she just had another card other than an attack card, man, you could make the case that she could be 2. You definitely, I don't think she's 1. I don't think you can make the case that she's 1, but I think you can make the case that she's at least number 2. But I have her at number 3 again. She can do some pretty good damage, but she's easily replaceable. I feel like, again, her making you not take crit damage is really good. Don't get me wrong, it's really good. However, let's go back to what we were talking about for Zanka. Now, you got to remember, she also needs to be duped. So if you only have her 1 out of 6, you get this for 2 turns. And if you go second, you only get it for 1 turn. So how helpful is Survival Instinct at 1 out of 6? Chances are probably not that helpful. So once you get it to 2 out of 6, it goes to 3 turns, which is really, really good. And then also you have this pierce rate plus 50 instead of 30%. And at 3, I forget what happens at 3. Do you need her? Nothing changes at 3, right? Oh, the HP related stats, duh. The HP related stats go up to plus 30%. So really, really good. 1 out of 6, obviously she's not gonna be that great. I wouldn't even say she wouldn't be that great. She's definitely good. You can just feel it though. You definitely can feel the difference between her attack at 1 out of 6, and you definitely can feel it at 2 out of 6, because I ended up getting a dupe. You can definitely feel the difference. But yeah, all in all, definitely a very good character. DPS wise, super strong. But yeah, I'd leave her at 3. So now we get to number 2. So obviously we can start filling out the rest of this. Number 2 is Rudo, and then number 1 is Enjin. So for Rudo, I'm gonna have to put him at number 2. From what I've seen from this guy, Rudo is actually a human wall. If this character just had someone who was constantly healing him, I mean, like it's so crazy. Like, it's legitimately so crazy. His single target goes crazy once you get the, what is it, the recycle effect, because the recycle effect gives you plus 50 and then plus 100% crit chance. Crazy, just like ridiculously strong. And then the reuse gives you 50% defense stats, and then you take minus 100% damage. Well, I mean, listen, super good, super good. You do want to just hope and pray that you get reuse because of that defense related buff that you get. But yeah, he's a human wall. Once you have all humans on the team, again, you can't use Escanor and Merlin with him because Merlin is an unknown, so that doesn't trigger his reduce. But yeah, once you actually start getting up to gear with him, using single targets, using his crazy AoE that reduces damage dealt, right? Decreases damage dealt. It becomes so much. Rudo is actually crazy. You do have to do not single targets. You do have to use a skill, or when an ally takes damage from an enemy, and then you get the reuse for 2 turns. which is good, right? Definitely good. I think he's great. I actually think he's really, really strong. There is a case for him to be number one. There is actually a case for him to be number one. It depends on what you want the most. I don't know. It depends on what you like value more. Do you value a character that can tank, eat these hits, give you a chance to live? He has a taunt. He's doing a lot. He's also supported, like he's doing a lot. Or are you more of an Enjin type of fan who just has really, really powerful DPS damage? Like, which one do you care about or value the most? For me, and again, this is a tier list, so feel free to disagree. Like, that's what tier lists are for. Feel free to disagree, please. For me personally, I would prioritize Enjin over Rudo. Now, the reason why is because with Rudo, yes, he is a defensive wall, but we do have other options we can run other than Rudo that could potentially be better. You do have, I mean, you have LR Subaru and Beatrice. You have LR Escanor, which he isn't a tank, but he definitely can still be good, right? You can use Escanor and Merlin because you don't have to worry about Rudo's condition with Enjin, so you can have two really, really powerful DPS, and then on the side you can put, I don't know, someone else who really helps out the team. Who else can you pick? Oh, and another thing too, technically with Enjin, he's not really restricted per se. Like, he is, but he isn't, because of this right here. You do at least want one human with him, but he can also get it another way, like his drive effect. At the end of the ally's turn or enemy's turn, the hero gains drive. So you don't necessarily need a human. You should always have one, but you don't necessarily need one. So you can run different team compositions with Enjin. Now, I will say this though about Enjin. He is a pierce rate demon. He needs pierce rate. He needs pierce rate. He needs pierce rate. At the very least, he needs someone to increase attack related stats for him to really, really show out. Because he's a pierce rate demon. 5 times pierce rate on a single target, 3 times pierce rate, and then an additional damage dealt increase by half a pierce rate on his AoE. His ultimate gives him 100% pierce rate, and then it also inflicts 3 times pierce rate. At the same time, increases his damage dealt by half a pierce rate. Enjin's a pierce rate demon. He absolutely eats off of pierce rate. So you do want this character to be with someone who can increase attack related stats. I have a lot of usage with Enjin, so I'm pretty good at knowing how his damage and everything like that. The drive and overheat absolutely are insane when you actually, because I have him at 1 out of 6, so we're looking at him at 6 out of 6. Let's him at 1 out of 6, right? Again, all of these characters need to be ran at 1 out of 6, or at least 3 out of 6. You can get away with 2, but you do want them 3 out of 6. Enjin, I feel like with Enjin, he's probably the least noticeable one that can be, you can get away with running him at 1 out of 6. People are gonna be like, what are you talking about? Because of all of the human buffs, all of the power of the human team, I feel like even at 1 out of 6, his damage is not bad. It's actually pretty good. It's actually not that bad, because I have him at 1 out of 6. Clearly, when you get him at 3 out of 6, it's going to be insane. But 1 out of 6, I can do pretty much, I can pretty much clear all content with him, right? So I feel like he's the least restrictive. I feel like what his role is, he does good, even outside of his collab character, Batch here. I feel like he is probably the one that does the best. Outside of it, you could, that's what I'm saying, you could argue Rudo being at number 3. I could see it. That's why I'm saying, let me know down below. I want to hear your guys' thoughts and opinions, even if it's negative. You could say I'm a stupid loser, I don't know shit about the game. That's fine. just let me know why you would place a unit where. I don't care. Like I do want to know what people think. I do. So we do have here's what I'm thinking. Would I change this? Probably not. Rudo is super good. Outside of even PvP, you can use all of these characters everywhere. Like that's what I'm saying. It's really hard to kind of judge them without each other, because with Rio, I mean, she's given pierce rate to herself. She's given this human ally survival instinct with the HP related stats. She's removing, well, this one might not really matter too much in PvE, but she still has it. Like, she is really good. She might take a little bit to build up, don't get me wrong. She might take a little bit of time to build up, but when she gets going, when she gets going, I'm telling y'all right now. So yeah, I think I would leave it like this. Rio and Rudo are really the only ones I'm like, oh, if you could change them, they're super interchangeable. Zanka, if he was just a straight up damage dealer and I didn't have to worry about the support aspect of him too much, I think he'd be better. But since they made him a support and they made you need to get dupes for him, it just really hurts this character. Like, it super hurts this character. And he's a collab. Again, it wouldn't be bad if these units weren't time limited. If they were on the general summon pool all the time, I wouldn't give a shit. No one would give a shit. But with it being collab, just it really did hurt. Really did. But yeah, I do like these batch of characters. I think this batch of characters, honestly, besides when I came back, besides the Ray Zero, LR Beatrice and Subaru, Priscilla, and Amelia, this is a pretty good batch. I wasn't here for the last batch of collab, so I'm not gonna like say too much, but I do feel like they did good. Like, the synergy works. They do what they need to do. They're not invincible, but they're not like completely garbage to where they can't compete in the meta. So props to Netmarble for making this team. Let me know what your thoughts are down in the comments. Thank you guys so much for the support. I love you all. This will be Dev signing out, and let me know which one of these guys is your favorite collab character.